I eat pizza every day in Italy and I'm fine. And Prosecco.
Today at EuroWheat, we're chatting with Eve Passeltiner, an audiobook narrator extraordinaire, who's also a fellow gluten sensitive who's discovered that European wheat doesn't bother her. Apologies, but Eve's video wasn't working, so we'll be using a still image for her. Eve, thank you very much for agreeing to do an interview about EuroWheat and gluten and your experiences with European wheat. I mean, tell me what got you interested in it?
Well, I saw your stuff on my feed when you announced, and my first thought, so many people have issues, and I do too. I always do better if I don't do bread, and that's like a sin because I love bread. I've even baked bread and dairy and things like that, and my system just seems so much better. But if I'm in Europe, it's not a problem and I'm eating pizza all the time in Italy, or I'm eating gelato all the time, or I'm eating bread, and you don't have that heavy, bloated, clogged feeling. And plus, just in general, like, there's much better rules about anything. It could be chocolate. It could be, anything, cookies, biscuits, whatever it is. In general, they're healthier in Europe because they're more stringent and they're not letting Monsanto, and our soils, I am sure, been ruined by Monsanto. So even if you're trying to grow something healthy, the soil's been ruined.
Well, I mean, absolutely. Like, healthy soil is like a really big part of it, right? And so that was one of my pieces of research, is trying to figure out the 7 factors that make European wheat safer for gluten sensitives like you and me, is the healthy soil. The farmers over there tend to practice crop rotation. So what happens apparently in monocropping is if you just plant wheat all the time, and that's it, after a while it depletes the soil of certain nutrients, and that's why they need to change it up. And when you change it up, the soil is a lot more healthy. It has a lot more magnesium in it naturally, right? And that's a factor that you can't tell with something that is organic. Well, it can still be in unhealthy soil. I talk to people about that, and they say, well, why don't we just get organic? And it's like, yeah, that's a piece of it, but it's not the whole thing.
It's the soil. But I'm with you. The soil is everything.
No, I
know the difference when I eat pizza. I eat pizza every day in Italy, and a chocolate bar every day, and gelato every day, and I'm fine. And Prosecco, and prosciutto, and everything. And
it's incredible.
Hole in the wall places, and you're fine.
No, I noticed that. Now, when you so what are your symptoms when you eat gluten over here?
Literally heavy. I think I retain water. I get bloating.
I
feel stuck. And it just weighs down my system, and I gain more weight. And it's harder, and it can be all sorts of things, but I think that definitely, it mucks up the works, unfortunately.
In your experience, traveling in Europe and eating the same stuff, you don't get any of the weight gain or any of those other issues. Is that right?
I have not noticed it ever. And it's also that feeling of not being like heavy and stuck. And you can't put in your pants, and you just feel tired and lethargic.
No, I know that feeling. I mean, that's one of the things, is that, gluten tends to get sort of a bad name in America because, gluten is bad for you, which is, it's not the gluten itself, it's all the other things around it, or the actual quality of the gluten that we're making, unfortunately, in the US.
Yeah, I think you're right. That place down, it might be near where you are, stall after stall of Italian products.
Italy.
Is that what it's called?
It's called Italy.
It's just amazing. You can also eat, but it's like you can.
And they have restaurants in there. I've heard that I can't remember the chef's name, imports the flour that he uses in the pasta, and it doesn't bother me at all. It tastes so much better. It's amazing.
And don't they also sell, like, in bags, different pastas? I'm wondering if those are from Europe.
It's funny you say that, and I didn't even think about buying things there. I should I should try that. I should. I know. And when the problem is that even, like, I've been trying some of these European pastas, and some of them just don't agree with me, because I'm really wondering how many of, these 7 factors I kind of narrowed it down to, they're really adhering to. So you can tell if it's pesticide-free, so it's organic, right? That's labeled. But maybe it's not stone ground. Maybe it's high-speed grinding, and the high-speed grinding creates a lot of heat, and that kind of messes up the balance of the gluten that makes it harder to digest.
Okay. And the same with what? Drying?
With drying, so in the U.S., they do a high-speed drying process, right? Which is, just under high heat, just gets it dried faster. But in Europe, they like literally are letting them dry at room temperature, which is less efficient, right? But the heat knocks the gluten out of balance and makes it harder to digest. And also, there are enzymes in wheat that slowly kind of break down the gluten. And when you apply high heat to it, then it destroys those enzymes.
That makes so much sense. Well, I'm so glad you're doing this.
Well, thank you. Well, I think it's so nice. And thank you so much for doing the interview with me. And I really appreciate your time today. And I'm sure our paths will cross very soon. Again, thanks to Eve Pasteltiner. She is really an amazing audiobook narrator. So make sure to check out some of her audiobooks. As always, make sure to like and subscribe to EuroWheat. We'll be launching our Kickstarter in the summer, so we really, really need everyone's support. Thank you.